Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. My name is Ali Board, and no matter how you are watching me today, you are very welcome indeed. Now, you may be watching on Facebook via the live feed. You might be watching on catch up via YouTube or my website, learningtopaint.co.uk. No matter how it is that you are tuning in, thank you for taking the time and trouble to do that. It is the last TT of 2022. Which is the sad news, but I've got some dates for you to stick into your diary. So grab yourselves a pen and a piece of paper because you're going to want to write some of these dates down. Now, whilst you go and grab a pen and a piece of paper, if you are watching live, I want to say a few hellos to those people who have tuned in live. Bonjour, Rosie. Rosie over there in France. Lovely to have you here, my lovely. Ali D, good morning. Kim, good morning. Who else have we got? Angie, Teresa is saying it's chilly in Cornwall, chilly in Dorset as well. Julie is saying hello everybody, wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Julie is getting that in early because she knows that I am not going to be around. But I have some exciting things to tell you just in case you weren't with me last week. Good morning, Val. Janice, good morning. Viv, good morning. Linda P. And good morning to you too. And Kim is saying it's murky. Pam, good morning. And Rachel is sending me a hug and sending me greetings. Thank you all very much. Oh, the lovely Helly is in the room as well. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? How are those beautiful guinea pigs of yours? I hope they're watching too. And Barbara as well. Good morning. Right, grab that pen and a piece of paper because I have some dates and some information for you. Yes, this is the last Technique Tuesday of 2022 because just in case you hadn't heard my news, as of the 17th of December, I am taking a learning sabbatical, which basically means I'm going away to cook up all sorts of exciting and interesting things for you to come back all guns blazing on the 1st of March. Now, the first Technique Tuesday back in 2023, I'm just looking at my notes. It wasn't very slick, was it? Just looking at my notes, is the 7th of March. That's the first date to get into your diary. And Technique Tuesday is going to be a little bit different in the future, but you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to write anything down at the minute. I've got a few experiments to do with the technology. I will give you more information nearer the time. No good me telling you now because it'll fall out of my head. I'm not so sure about you, but let me give you that nearer the time. Catherine is in the room as well. Good morning, lovely, over there in Ireland. And Helly is saying that her guinea pigs are all good. Excellent. So, 7th of March, pop that in your diaries. It's going to be at 9 o'clock, just as it normally is, but there are going to be some really, really big changes coming for Technique Tuesday. All good stuff, all exciting stuff, but there are going to be some changes. However, good morning, Thea. You may have heard that on Christmas Day, I am going to be doing a live broadcast. I've done this for the past couple of years. I just think it's a nice way to hopefully get in touch with those people who struggle with that day a little bit. Maybe it's not a thing you celebrate. Maybe you feel like you're on your own. Maybe you're surrounded by people and you just feel a little bit isolated and could do with this face on Christmas Day. If so, there's some information to get out to you. So I want to take you over to the website. I've got so much stuff to show you this morning. I'm going to take you over to the website so that you can see exactly where all the information is. And then I need you to share it like you've never shared it before. Okay. So here is the website. You all know it by now. It is going to have some changes made, but not until the new year. And you need to go to the bit that says resources, and you will find the Christmas Day broadcast. Let's show you that. Tells you all about it. It tells you what I'm going to be doing, and you're going to be able to join in. No matter what your artistic skill, I promise you, there's going to be something for everybody. And there's the equipment list. Most things I think you're going to find around your house. That's the other idea, is that it makes it very accessible to people. So you can gather those materials ahead of time, or you can just pull up a chair and join me. It doesn't matter. You don't have to join in the project. If you want to, the information is there. So yes, it is Sunday the 25th of December at 10 o'clock. And it's, where can you find it? You will be able to find it on Facebook if you would like to join me live, right on the Alison C board page. There's the clickable link there to take you to it. and but it will be able to be seen on that page afterwards if 10 o'clock is a little bit early for you, or you'd rather be doing other things or avoiding social media. Maybe you just want a social media holiday on that day, in which case, as soon as I have recorded the broadcast, I'm going to put a copy of it here on this page. All sorts of information, but there is the most important part of the whole thing. Please share and share again. You will see it crop up on my social media in the coming days and weeks. Please share it, because there will be somebody out there who just needs a friendly face on that day, and I want to be able to reach them. And there's also a little chat thread which you can start beforehand if you want to, and also I will be checking on throughout that day just to make sure that everybody is okay. So to remind you, you go to resources, to that Christmas Day broadcast, and all of that information is there for the taking. So that is between today and the 7th of March. That's where you're going to be able to find me, and I would love for you to join me. Don't have to paint, you don't have to join in the project. Equally, if you've never painted before and you're here just because you like the chat on a Tuesday morning, then you will be most welcome. Now, who have I missed while I have been doing all of that sort of stuff? I've missed Hilary P. I've missed my mum popping up as well. Linda, good morning. And Helly is saying that she loves this idea. Thank you, my lovely. I just want to make sure that no one is left behind. No one's ever left behind on that day, because I know some people really struggle with it. I'm very fortunate that I love that day and I get to spend it with my family, but I'm very aware that that doesn't apply to everybody. So please share amongst as many people or organisations or anybody that you think might enjoy it, and I would love to have your company on that day. So what else do I need to tell you? I need to share the ending of my autumn leaves project. Now, do you remember me saying last week that I had a little bit of tech for you? Now, I get it. I understand that not everybody likes the tech. Not everybody is going to want to do this with their project. However, some of you out there might, and some of you are going to have questions for me. Stick those in the chat and I will try to answer them. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a whirlwind, because I've actually finished my project. But this wasn't something that I was going to be able to do live. So shall we go right back to the beginning? I'll take you through what I did and how I did it and show you where I have ended up. So this is where we started, wasn't it? We started, actually that wasn't where we started at all. We started here with this tracing. I brought some leaves in from my garden, using my garden as inspiration, which most of you know I do an awful lot. And I actually physically traced around the outline of some of them. We had a variation of leaves. I kind of set it up in this trio. Wasn't really sure where it was going to go, but it was exciting all the same. So leaves were all set up like that. And then I took that tracing, I'm just going to deposit that over to one side, and I made a copy of it. And in making the copy of it, I thought, ooh, maybe I could make it smaller. So I played around with my technology doing that too. Good morning, Rosemary. But I realised that actually doing it on a smaller scale, I was going to struggle to get it painted in. So I thought, no, I will go back to my original idea. I will keep it this size, and I will use this to make the painting, and then I'll do other things with it as well. Now, one of the other things very early on I experimented with was copying my line drawing onto watercolour paper. You can go back to the blog, don't forget, and watch all of these installments. If you haven't had the chance to catch up with it yet, they are all there on the Technique Tuesday blog. So I was copying it back onto here. That didn't work as I would like, because I was doing it on an inkjet printer, and so the lines were running a little bit. And then I started experimenting with combining watercolour and inks, and that's kind of where we got to with this chart. This chart was a way of exploring all the different colours that I had. Some of my inks had gone off, so we had a chat about that as well. And then we started looking at using Inktense pencils to get some of the detail in. That was quite a popular week where I was working back negatively. And then, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip of honey and lemon. As you can hear, still got my stinking cold, which is very annoying. Sorry about this. There we go, all better now. Then last week we were working on the highlights, weren't we? And we ended up, just going to take my little magnets away, with this. This is the finished piece, which I completed last week. You can go back, you can watch all of this again. So we were looking at laying down colour, we were looking at doing a little bit of negative painting. I went back in and did a few highlights, and here's my finished painting. Now, it would be absolutely fine and dandy, wouldn't it, to go, do you know what, that's a pretty passable painting. It's quite an intricate study. I could mount this up, frame this up, might make a nice Christmas present for somebody, maybe. But I thought, ooh, do you know what? I quite fancy turning my illustration into a craft project. Now, what on earth do I mean by that? Right, you're going to have to, I'm going to go into front camera, you're going to have to follow me for this ride, okay? And like I said, if you've got any questions at all and you are watching this live on Facebook, then stick the questions in the chat and I will try to get to them. All right, are you ready? Hold your breath. Here we go. So I took this and I went over to my printer. I've got photographs of this too so that you can follow along. I took it over to my printer, which has a scanner on the top of it. And I laid it onto my scanner, and it took me 2 or 3 goes to get it of the quality that I wanted. But I scanned the image onto a memory device because I have an Epson scanner, before any of you ask. I really like Epson products. They work for me. Everybody has their own choice, don't they? But Epson, I have had Epson printers my whole life, and they just do the thing that I want them to do. So I scanned it in, which meant that I could get it onto my computer. And so that turned it into a digital product. And I spent a little bit of time with some software on my computer, making sure that the colours that I saw on the screen were similar to the colours in the painting. Now, this is a really good example, this photograph, of how things can change in lighting. So if you have a look at the bottom, that is my painting, but it looks really yellow on there. Then let's take you back to the overhead, and you'll see that my paper is nowhere near that yellow. But sometimes when you photograph things, it can kind of alter the properties of it, and you just have to kind of play about with the colour to make sure that what is on your screen looks realistic, or if what's on your screen is nice and bright enough so that when it gets printed, it's going to look like you want it to, okay? Then, when I had it as a digital product, then I used a piece of software. Now, I purposefully did not use a fancy piece of software to do this. It's going to look fancy when I show you in a minute, but I'm going to show you how I did this. So this is a piece of software called Canva. C-A-N-V-A. Good morning, Sheena. She's saying a quick hello, and then she's going to catch up later. And she says, it looks like I'm going to have to concentrate. Yeah, you probably are, my lovely. Good to have you here. And good morning to Anne B as well. So this is a piece of software that you can access online. Sometimes I use Photoshop. Sometimes I use really fancy pants pieces of software, but this was not one of them. Canva, very easy to access online, and there's 2 versions of it. There's a free version of it and there's a pro version of it. You can choose whether you want to use it for free or whether you want to upgrade to a paid version. And here you go, you can see I used multiple repeats, and I'm going to show you how I did this. So I'm going to show you briefly how I did this. So I set up my page to be an A4 piece of paper. Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, Joe. And you can see that it's got rulers on it there. And the way that I created those, let's get rid of one temporarily, is can you see I've got rulers along the top and down the left-hand side. And so what I did was I pulled a ruler from there and I set it at 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters, depending on how you look at it, because I wanted to make a paper tape. Okay, that was my plan, that I was going to make a paper tape out of this. And you can't print onto a roll of tape. You need a very specialist printer. So the idea was that I was going to, let's go back to something else. Let's go back to this. The idea was that I was going to take this, I was going to print it out onto a piece of A4 paper and then cut it into strips so that I could make my own tape. That was the idea. So then I had to, let's steal one of these and let's just, I need my keyboard for this. Let's just duplicate it. So can you see, this was my great big scan as it was on the computer. And what I did was I scaled it down so it was really, really tiny. I don't know why it needs that voice. And then I popped it over here onto my little grid that I had formed, and I kind of messed about with it to get it the right size. And then all I did was duplicate it. So there's lots of ways you can do it. You can do it with that little button up there which says duplicate, or you can use a keyboard shortcut. And what I did was I just ended up, so let's use that one. Look, and it's really clever because as you go along, it duplicates it in the right place for you. So I went along like that and I ended up creating this page. So it didn't take me very long to do at all. It wasn't a tricky thing to do. Canva is quite user-friendly. It's not a tricky thing. And there's loads of information online as well. You can Google all sorts of help files, and there's all sorts of information on the site itself. So I did that. And then, of course, after doing all of that, I needed to be able to print it out. So let's just go to the overhead camera a little second. Why has that gone all funny and peculiar? There's something fishy going on. There we go. Then what I wanted to do was print it out so that it looked like this. Let's get rid of my original so that nothing peculiar happens to it. And I wanted to print it out, but I forgot when I printed it out that my printer does a thing of kind of cropping it and making it kind of all fit on a piece of paper. And what I wanted to do was to be able to measure down in 2 centimetre strips and cut it. But actually, when I took my ruler to it, I suddenly realised that 2 centimetres chopped the bottom off it each time. And so I spent ages. I'm going to give you the shortcut for this because it took me ages to work out what the problem was. And it was because my printer wanted to do something called scale to fit. It wanted to take the image and kind of reduce it in size ever so slightly so it fit on the piece of paper. And what I actually wanted it to do was to ignore the fact that it was trying to be helpful. And so I had to use my printer properties box, all of those little bits and pieces on your printer properties box that you think, oh, I don't need to learn what all those mean. Actually, you do. So some of those, your printer properties box probably looks a bit different than mine because I work on a Macintosh as opposed to a PC. But it's, you see all those boxes there where it says printer and presets and paper size and orientation, and then you've got a box that says media and quality and where you're doing it from and all of that kind of stuff. Take time to investigate all of those things because it's all of those things that are going to help you to print out your information in the way you want it to be printed out. So I spent a little bit of time. I printed it onto some scraps of paper before I printed it onto a piece of self-adhesive white paper. So this is the one I use. There's nothing particularly special about it. The only thing that I wanted to happen was that the adhesive that's on this piece of paper is eco-friendly. So it's water soluble, in other words. So if somebody throws it away in their recycling, then it's got a better chance of being able to be recycled. But that's a whole other discussion about, I know about the ink, that inkjet ink isn't necessarily recycling friendly. That is something I'm going to talk about next year. Okay, are you still with me? Is everyone still out there? Probably not, but do you know what? I'll keep talking to myself. It'll all be fine. And so eventually, when I had printed it out, and I had printed it out correctly, that I could section it up, then what I had was this. And so I've managed to turn my design for the autumn leaves, just got to unpeel that, into some pieces of ready-made tape. And now I can use this for sealing a present, or I could roll it up. Joe is saying, we're listening. You're all still there, lovely. It means that I could roll it up and I could actually gift this if I wanted to. I could find a little core to put it around. Of course, you're slightly limited by the fact that you've only got the length of A4 to work on. But I think that's quite an awesome project for you to be able to make your own tape. How cool would it be if you did a Christmas design? So maybe you do some holly leaves and some mistletoe and all that kind of stuff. And you do that and you cut it into your strips. And that's what you use to seal all your gifts. And so when people say to you, this is a smug alert, you ready? So when people say to you, where did you get this tape from? This tape is incredible. It looks so beautiful. You can go, well, of course, I designed it and made it myself, don't you know? So I think it's just a way of adding value to your gifts. And then I've just pre-peeled this because I know what I'm like trying to peel the back off stuff in a live broadcast. And it feels quite thick when it's got the backing on it. But actually, when you peel it off, it's just like ordinary paper tape. And it works really, really well. In fact, I am thinking of doing this for other products. Look how cool it looks. Isn't that smart? Just for kind of sealing down a gift or putting on the back of an envelope. You could, of course, cut it with scissors so that you get kind of the leaves that you want. But you know what? I quite like the torn look. You know me and a bit of vintage stationery or vintage ephemera. You know I love this kind of stuff. And there it is. And you designed it all yourself. So I can already see on the comments people going, oh, I did not know you could do this thing. So this is your opportunity to get your questions into me about if you want me to go back over anything that I did or how I did it. You want me to show the photographs again. I might show the photographs again just to do a little bit of a recap anyway. But that is how you can turn one of your really kind of well thought out paintings into something that is going to be useful actually as a gift or as a product and that kind of thing. Now, Rachel is saying a really good thing. I'm thinking I might steal this idea for photos instead of paintings. Yes, absolutely. If you've taken a really smart photo, you can do the same. You can section it up. You can do all sorts of things with this idea. Everybody off to buy some sticky paper now. So just as, let's use something a bit more scrappy. Let's just show you it in action. So if I folded this over here, I was making my own envelopes, things, and I could take this, couldn't I? And I could be sealing it down with a bit of my own designed tape. And how cool does that look? Really cool, isn't it? So, and all done by you. So if you wanted to upgrade things, all of that kind of stuff, then I think it works a treat. Lots of you enjoying that. Helly is saying, got to go to work. Bye-bye, my lovely. Thank you so much for tuning in. And she says that she's going to share my Christmas Day post. Thank you. I'm going to put it out. You'll be sick of the sight of it by the time I'm done. But I just want to make sure I reach as many people as possible. So I hope you have enjoyed that project. turning your painting into that kind of end product, that end result. I am certainly going to be doing a lot more of this in 2023 because I think it's quite nice. What I've got to find now, just in case anybody is out there and finds it before I do, is a low tack version of this, because then we could use it instead of masking tape and all of those kind of things. Carol is saying would also look lovely as an edge to a card. Yes, Carol, you're not wrong. And now that I have that graphic in my software, I can just be printing it out again and again and again and again. So Linda is saying I can see a national shortage of sticky back printer paper happening. Quick, panic buy, rush off to purchase. Yes, of course. So I hope you have enjoyed that project. It's certainly been one, you know me, I like to find those kind of gaps in between fine art and craft, where I can use things that I have already done for that. So it's been quite a thrilling one for me. Like I said, this is the last Technique Tuesday of 2022, which is sad in one way and glorious in another, because I am off to think of lots of new things for you. I'm going to sort of drop off the radar a little bit in January and February of next year. I've got a few teaching commitments, but not too many, because I have lots of exciting things planned for you. Now, I told you, didn't I, that there was going to be another date. So you've got December the 25th, which is my Christmas Day broadcast at 10 a.m. You have got the 7th of March 2023, which is when the new Technique Tuesday will be out, and there'll be more information on that to come. But also pop into your diaries the 19th of January, because the 19th of January is when I'm going to relaunch the new Learning to Paint website. It will be all the things that you're used to, but it is also the day that the classes, workshops, tutorials, all of those kind of things that you know me for are going to be released, so that you can join me at something in 2023. So you will be, if you're signed up to my newsletter, you'll be getting an email at the end of the week, which gives you some save the date ideas. But keep your eyes peeled on my social media and all those kind of things, because I'm putting out all of the dates up until August, so that even if you can't book them yet, you can organise your diaries ahead of time. And it means that if there's something that catches your eye, you can join me. Now, geography is no restriction, because an awful lot of what I do happens live online. So I would love for any of you, wherever you are scattered across the world, to join me for a workshop or a tutorial. It would be lovely to see you there. Now, because this is the last of my TT broadcast for 2022, I want to say a huge thank you for supporting me during the year. Your support, as always, means the world to me. And it's now time for me to give a little bit back and to do that Christmas Day broadcast. So continue to share it amongst your social media groups, share it to your art communities, all of those kind of things, because somebody out there might just be thinking, do you know what? I really struggle with that day, and it would be nice to be involved in an art project, or just to see this old face at 10 a.m. on the 25th. So if I don't see you before, I will see you then, but I will be back on the 7th of March. Take care, all of you, won't you? Lots of love. Happy holidays to all of you. Bye.